Good afternoon again, everybody. Welcome back to Nogaro for the second round of the 2021 Clio Cup Europe. We're here in the wonderful south of France. Fantastic weather again today, and it doesn't feel like even 10 minutes since we were here yesterday, does it? Back in the wonderful sunshine, like I say. Some more amazing racing coming your way from this fantastic championship. We had a really good start to it yesterday, which involved the two men on the front row of the grid. Nicholas Milan and Marc Guillot have done the job. It's a little bit warmer today, 18 degrees Celsius, as you see there. Still a bit windy, though, so it doesn't feel that hot when you're actually out there, but the sun is very piercing indeed. There is your pole sitter for today, Nicholas Milan. He was very exciting to watch yesterday. He's going to be hoping to do more of the same this time. 2020 French Clio Cup champion and 2020 Clio Cup Spain champion as well. The 1 minute board is out. Drivers have their crews all run off the grid. You can see Bajo there and Spinkovic have their doors open just to let a bit more of the air in, just so it doesn't get too hot in the car. But we're in for a fantastic afternoon's racing. Once again, they had qualifying this morning, which determined today's grid. Every race in the championship is decided by its own qualifying session. There's no reverse grids or anything overly complicated. It's nice and straightforward pace from these drivers. But everybody is very much looking forward to this one. Had a bit more of a chat with the drivers in between. They've all said how excited they are and how great it was yesterday to get back out on track and enjoy themselves again. And trust me, I have felt the same. It's been brilliant to get back to a real circuit, especially one with as much history as this. The warm-up lap begins then, and Nicholas Milan leads them away. Like I said, Marc Guillot will go with him, starting second on the grid. You can see there, just gone through the bottom of the shot was David Pouget, our race winner from yesterday in the number 15 machine. He's got a bit more work to do today. He's going to be starting from 8th on the grid. But here is your grid then. Milan and Guillot on the front row with Kevin Jimenez and Anthony Girardot on row 2. Then we have Dorian Guldenfels. Watch out for him. He was great yesterday. Mathieu Lanapoudance, he's had a much better qualifying for this one. Thibaut Bossy is 7th with David Pouget, like I say, 8th position for him. Alexander Alboy and Jerzy Spinkovic rounding out your top 10. We then have Michael Curry with Paul Cocaine and Alvaro Bajo, and Guillaume Mayo rounding out row 7. Then it is Horn and Juan Carlos Hernandez with Lionel Viguier and Jeremy Bordagaray. Laurent Giades and Javier Sequendez round out your top 20. Following them is Stefan Polderman with Arnaud Gauthier, Fabien Julia and Antoine Bordagaray. Behind him, the back row of the grid, René Steenmetz and Michael Fay. And I know that Arnaud Gauthier actually had 2 times disallowed in qualifying this morning for track limit infringements, but they were all pushing very hard indeed. The circuit was nice and cool, so grip would have been aplenty. The tyres had plenty of chance to stay in their optimum range this morning. You can see them just now weaving to get a bit more temperature in the tyres. They might not be weaving as aggressively as yesterday. Like I say, the track temperature will be considerably higher for today. But it's another 25-minute race with 1 lap after that. So plenty of time for these tyres to have to last. But you can see again, clear skies today, which is exactly what we all wanted. And in 2 weeks' time, I believe it's in 2 weeks' time at least, we'll be heading to Monza for the second meeting of the championship. I believe 3 weeks actually. It's the start of May. We head to Monza before the second week in May. The week after, we go back into France to the legendary Manicourt. Fantastic circuit in its own right. But Nogaro has been a perfect place to get this championship underway. Tight and twisty circuit. Really does suit these Renault Clios. The drivers now forming up on the grid then to get ready to get the second round of the championship underway. There's plenty of room for them to manoeuvre here on the grid as well. You can see it's a very, very wide grid. The circuit was widened in 2007, so they're making use of every little bit of it. There's Steenmetz with Fay just behind. You can see the blue sticker on the back of the car there with the G in it. Don't forget we have 3 classes. The G is for the Gentleman Drivers Cup, and the C that you'll, well, ironically, C on the back of the car is for the Challengers Cup. We have a number of drivers in each. Jimenez is the highest placed in the Challengers Cup, and Horn is the highest placed in the Gentleman Drivers Cup in 15th place. But round 2 of the 2021 Clio Cup Europe is about to begin. The lights will come on, and the revs will rise, the turbos will spool, and there's been a delay on the line there for a second. It looked like Jimenez jumped it, and look at that through the middle there. That was a fantastic start by Thibaut Bossi. I think Lana Poudenc was the driver that went with him potentially. Great start in the middle there, 3 wide through turn 1. Lana Poudenc on the inside of that there, and we've had a red flag. We've had a red flag. It was considered a false start. I think there may have been an issue with the lights there, but that just adds to the spice of it. Red flag then. All the drivers brought down to a considerably lower speed. And I think that, to be honest, Jimenez will be very, very pleased for that to be the outcome there, because he initially jumped it slightly and then got a shed load of wheel spin and didn't really go anywhere. So he's going to be thankful that he gets another go at that. There they go down the back straight again. Still weaving. They need to take every chance they can to get the temperature in the tyres. These wonderful little cars put 200 brake horsepower through those front tyres, while also the temperature of the brakes, and of course all the steering as well. Like I said yesterday, the rear end on these cars is very much along for the ride, or not in the case of Guldenfels yesterday, when the rear end of the car came off the ground on the brakes into this hairpin here that they're going into now, turn 7. We saw most of our overtakes there yesterday. Nicholas Milan is just coasting into turn 9 now, which is where he made a fantastic getaway yesterday, and eventually took the race lead before... sorry, that was Pouget made the move to take the lead down the back straight. Milan made it into turn 9 to take 2nd place from Jimenez. There's Jardis in the black and yellow machine, Mayo in the blue and orange machine. Some fantastic liveries on the grid this season, there really are. I turned up on Saturday after having a nightmare with travel and just was in awe of some of the designs here. Some very complex liveries, but great to look at. They really do make the most of the fantastic shape of the newest shape of Renault Clio. Gauthier has a fantastic livery on his car as well, I must say. Arnaud Gauthier in the white, black and green machine, number 70. He's just gone through the shot there. But Milan and Guillaume have some of the plainest cars on the grid, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. They certainly do go well. There's your race winner yesterday. There's a wing mirror already hanging off. I think Thibaut Bossi's car, is it? No, it's Alboy. Alboy's car, his left wing mirror is already hanging off, so maybe a bit of elbows out there. They are actually coming back into the pits now. They're not lining back up on the grid. It's very intriguing. Now then, we'll have to see what they do about this here. Wondering whether there was an issue with the lights. It certainly looked like it, didn't it? Some of the lights came on, they went out, and then there was still some of them on. Yeah, it looked like... I mean, Viguier was already halfway down the straight by the time the race got underway. It was a very, very odd start indeed. Some of them going as soon as the lights went out, but then a 5th light stayed on and then went out again, so... complicated scenario, it seems. Back into the pit lane they go. Lovely shot there from the white line, looking up at these cars. Wonderful rear wing shape on these cars as well. Channeling the air over the boot of the car. There's Gauthier. And Julia. Here you go then. So here's what happened with the lights. You get 4 lights come on. Usually it's 5. The 5th one comes on while the others go off. Stays on. And then goes off itself. But you can see the confusion from Jimenez. And then again, they all start to come back on. So... yeah, definitely an issue there. The cars are now sat in the pit lane. And the drivers will be getting very, very hot in there, so I imagine a lot of doors will be open and being waved about. You can see there the reflections from the windows in the pit complex. Certainly great weather to be parked up in, though, in the south of France, but I'm sure not ideal conditions for the drivers. We've had 16 seconds of racing so far, if that. And there's the medical car as well, the Renault Megane RS at the back. You can see the heat haze as well. Shows you that there is definitely a wind. But we wait to see then what happens now. I believe they'll be told to go on another warm-up lap all the way back around the circuit and then to grid up once again. There you can see the fantastic balcony above the pit lane there as well. I was there this morning for the FFSA GT4 Championship round. Great place to watch the racing from. You get all the buzz of the pit lane as well, and you can see most of the circuit from there. Really is a good, really good circuit for spectators. If you ever do get the chance to come to Nogaro when the world goes back to normal, then please do. It is a great place to be. As I said yesterday, it's the first ever purpose-built circuit in France, this one. It was completed on the 3rd of October 1960. And in 2007, it was modernised with a new pit complex that we see there. Beautiful pit complex at Nogaro. I was in awe of that. It's almost like an aircraft watchtower, like an airfield. There is an airfield opposite as well, so it would make sense. But yeah, the track was widened in 2007, so it makes me wonder how narrow it was before, because it's not the widest circuit in the world. You can see some discussions going on there in the pit lane. Drivers potentially confused as to what happened with the lights. Apologies for the delay there, everybody. We will be back racing as soon as possible, of course. Everybody will do as much as they can. Obviously doing it by the book as well. Driver safety is the highest priority, and we want things to go as smoothly as possible. There's no point forcing a restart if there's a potential technical issue, and it could cause it again and make further delays. So we just have to be patient and see what happens. There's Steenmetz giving a thumbs up. He's still happy, at least, in the number 55 machine. There's Antoine Bourdegaray. Yeah, I thought that. But you know, the drivers, this can get into the head of a driver, to be honest, having to sit around like this, because a lot of drivers get nervous before a race, understandably, but you know, some drivers get more nervous than others, so the longer they have to hold on to that sort of tension before a race, it can really get into their heads. There's Arnaud Gauthier. There's Sequendez, who had I think it was him that had lap times disallowed in qualifying yesterday, so he started near the back. Thumbs up from Javier. And there is Antoine's brother, Jeremy Bourdegaray. Keeping focused, looking ahead, making sure that he's got his eye on the ball. There's Paul de Man, not living up to his name yet and putting it on pole though. He doesn't mind. As I said before, you know, the simple liveries work on these Clios just as much. There's Paul Cocaine, holding his door open, making sure that he's got some good airflow in there. And the same with Mayo as well. They do have electric windows though. You can see Mayo's got the window down most of the way. And Hernandez doesn't bother with opening the door. Great camera shots though from our cameraman here. Stop and Go Productions behind the scenes on this one as well. Doing a cracking job. It's great to be working with them on this. There's Horn, just sat in the car with the bright pink roll cage as well. Love that. It's the attention to detail like that that you honestly really do appreciate when you see these cars up close. There's Giadis, very calmly holding the door open again. Great looking car, that really is good. The matte black works so well. Big 78 in chrome across the bonnet as well. So just awaiting news then on any progress made to see whether there was definitely an underlying issue with the lights. There is Alboy, the number 25. There is the wing mirror that I mentioned before, hanging down. And there's yesterday's race winner, David Pouget. You can see all the little medals in the window that he's got as well. And that wonderful livery, absolutely wonderful livery on the GPA racing car. They all sport a very similar livery at GPA. You can actually see the livery of Alboy's car behind, very similar, just different colours. And it's something that you do see quite a bit of in the paddock. Great shot there as they leave the reflections up on the pit complex. There's the very bright number 7 of Michael Carey, and behind him Lionel Viguier in the number 16 TB2S car. It's got a very bright yellow car with this wonderful black pattern across the bonnet. I think they're just getting the cars into order now for them to then come back out and make sure that they're at least in the order of the grid. There's Lana Poudangs. He's got a helmet design that actually reflects the design on the car as well, which is pretty cool. It's like a real rallycross style helmet. Looks very good. There's Gerardo. And the number 5, Milan competition car. Teammates of Marc Guillot and of course Nicolas Milan. I'm not sure what the pants are all about on the roll cage of Jimenez's car, but I'll have to ask. Great looking livery that. I was actually taking some pictures of that this morning while he was waiting to go into scrutineering after qualifying. Really, really good looking bit of kit, but so is Nogaro. I mean, look at that. Fantastic pit complex here. We've got a 3-minute sign, which is always good. So we at least have a time frame now of when we can get moving again. You can see the Megane safety car there. Very potent bit of kit, let me tell you that for free. But as mentioned, everybody, thank you for your patience. We will be back underway and racing again. The good news is, of course, we've barely lost any of the race. As you can see in the top left of your screen, 24 minutes and 44 seconds left to go. So while it is a shame that we've had a red flag, it's only cost us 16 seconds of racing. Not too many complaints on that part, I can guarantee. Intrigued to see what Nicolas Milan is thinking right now, because he was obviously starting from pole after a great qualifying and a really, really hot performance yesterday. But with his teammate behind him, he's still going to be in for a good battle with Marc Guillot. There you can see the safety car there is Nicolas Milan's car as well. As you can see, the 2 little medals on the window there after winning the Clio Cup France and Clio Cup Spain last year. Incredible achievements from him. He continues to be very, very quick. You saw yesterday exactly why he is a champion of those 2 series. And there is the 1-minute board, so not long to go now. Crew members waiting just to see what happens. The gentlemen there with the bright orange are part of the Jerzy Spinkovic team. Unique Racing. And the bright orange certainly does stand out. Okay, there we go. Safety car then. You can see a glider being towed up into the air there as well. Trust me, it's a fantastic place to be if you like cars and aircraft, is Nogaro. You get to see the gliders and all the aircraft at the field, the airfield opposite. Bit of a slow getaway there for Thibaut Bossy, I believe. I think he was just waiting to go back in line. And we now have cars on circuit once again. You really do have to appreciate the sounds these things make as well. They have such a rasp to them from their turbocharged engines. And a great whistle as well on low revs in the paddock. As I've said, 200 brake horsepower, these cars. So plenty of power going through the front wheels. Not quite as much as the Megane in front of them, but either way, they are very potent little race cars. You can see the safety car board. I'm wondering whether it's just going to be the safety car leading them round and then pulling in at the end of this lap. I'm intrigued as to whether it's the same procedure where the lights go out on the safety car when it's the lap that it's going to come in. And there you go. It's like they could hear me. There you go, lights are out on the safety car, so I imagine it'll be coming in this lap. Look at that from Gio, chucking it in sideways. They're often on 3 wheels around there as well, so they really use the traction from the front wheels to chuck the rear end around. It's always exciting to see. Under the Dunlop bridge then towards turn 11. And there you can see that wing mirror hanging off Al Boy's car. I'll have to keep an eye on that and see whether it drops off during the race. I imagine not, if it's stayed on so far. Let's see if anybody gives it any assistance. Okay, race is underway then. The green flag is out. So they're up to race pace. I don't think some of them expected it from that far back, but Nicolas Milan leads them across the line there. Marc Guillot second place. Thibaut Bossy is obviously dropping down the order back into where he was, so on the timing it may confuse you for a minute, but it's Kevin Jimenez in third place, and we're underway in the second round of the 2021 Clio Cup Europe. Now let's see how quickly these drivers can get into a rhythm and who goes on the attack. There's Pouget, yesterday's race winner, bouncing through turn 3. Just in front of him is Thibaut Bossy looking at Lanapoudanx. Mathieu Lanapoudanx in the 111 machine. Takes a wide run into turn 5 to try and get a good exit. Runs wide, hits a little bollard on the exit. Hopefully none of them being sent for a holiday today. But out in front, Milan and Guillot flying. Guillot did the fastest first sector out of anybody, 36.7, 4/10 faster than his teammate Nicolas Milan. Let's see whether they work together in going forward or whether they have a battle. Now look at that, Pouget locks up down the inside of Thibaut Bossy, but thank you very much, he says. It looks like Bossy went quite deep himself in his chase on Lanapoudanx. And Pouget straight up into 7th position. That's actually brought Alexandre Alboy right behind them now. Still with 2 wing mirrors. 4th place looks quite close as well, actually. I think it's Gerardo just behind Jimenez. There is that wing mirror. It's still wobbling around, actually. It's not like it's fixed in place. So hopefully for Alboy, nobody goes down the inside on the left. There they go towards us then, turn 13. I was stood there this morning. Fantastic to see the commitment through there. Looks like Pouget's gone a bit deep. It's Guldenfels behind Gerardo, apologies. Just in front. Team members watch on. And look at that, Guldenfels having a real go at Gerardo into turn 1. Fantastic send. You can see the car squirreling around. Lifting the right rear off the ground through turn 2. Oh, well, there goes that bollard again. I imagine they've got plenty of them. And Gerardo comes back at him. They both go a little bit deep into turn 4. And then this is the Pouget, Bossy, Alboy fight. David Pouget got ahead, but he's not been able to clear them at the moment. He's not been able to run away and make it easy. Now down the back straight, he's going to have to think about slipstreaming here. What can Bossy do? And more importantly, what can Alboy do? With double slipstream off these guys, the double toe as they call it. Looks like Milan has got away from Guillot. Nothing too drastic in front. Guldenfels going a little bit deep in comparison to Gerardo. Gerardo wants that place back. He wants to get back into 4th position. On the last lap, Guldenfels was only 1/10 quicker, but it made all the difference into turn 1. It looks to me like he might have been getting away there. There's the GPA team just watching. And TB2S obviously watching on to see how Guldenfels gets on. Gerardo wants to get further up the order though and go chasing his 2 teammates that are leading at the minute. Jimenez sitting happily in 3rd place. A bit of daylight between him and the cars ahead and behind. Across the line once again. Only 4/10 of a second in it though between Gio and Milan. So not very much time at all. Guldenfels, you can see, taking a wide entrance into turn 1 there. Seemed to work for him on the exit, but then you've got to think it opens the corner too much for turn 3. Now they did obviously get warnings at turn 2 for track limits yesterday, so they need to keep an eye on that. Gio is right back with Milan though for the lead. 2 teammates, but I imagine they're still going to battle for the race win. Let's face it, out of all the positions you could battle for, it is the most important one. That was the number 7 there of Michael Carey with Paul Cocaine behind him. And there's Viguier. Just behind Viguier is Bordagaray and Giadas, and then Sequendez. Giadas has actually got past Sequendez at the start of this lap. Now, this in front is Horn looking down the inside of Hernandez. He's not close enough to do anything yet, but he's just filling his mirrors and saying, I'm not going anywhere. Making his intentions very clear. Now Viguier has to focus behind him because Bordagaray is not going to disappear anytime soon. It's a very similar battle visually to our leaders. An almost fully yellow car against a fully white car, but the other way around. There was a lock up there from Viguier as well. He's gone a bit wide through turn 12. Now, Gio starting to move around a little bit behind Nicolas Milan for this race lead. Milan finishing on the podium yesterday. Gio did not, but finished in the top 5. He needs to make up that deficit to Nicolas Milan. Now look at this. Gerardo, Guldenfels and Jimenez in reverse order. Absolutely pushing one another through turn 4. Now trying to get a good run out of turn 5. The long sweeping turn 6 onto the back straight. There they are. The slipstream so important down there. You need to be quite close to the car in front to get enough of a run. Gio looking down the inside. It's those cheeky little moves that make all the difference in a race like this, even if it is your teammate in front. That was Pouget looking down the inside of Lanapudanks. But nothing doing for him there. Oh, in the background, by the look of it, I think that might have been Spinkovic or Carey. I think Carey had Cocaine just behind him. It almost looked like they swapped position. Jimenez now has got his mirrors full of Guldenfels again. Gerardo's going nowhere anytime soon either. So Jimenez, who had to try and defend as best as he could yesterday from Nicolas Milan, he's now having to defend from another Clio Cup champion, Dorian Guldenfels. But all this time, if they do battle, they are losing ground to Milan and Gio at the front. There's Pouget trying to look past Lanapudanks. You can see them just controlling the track limits. They're bouncing around all over the curbs. 2 wheels most of the time through turn 3, clipping the curb. It's all about trying to be steady as there you go. Pouget down the inside of Lanapudanks, gets it done into turn 4. Nice textbook stuff. We saw a brilliant move from him yesterday on Jimenez, and he's done the same again here. Fantastic. But now, Lanapudanks has got the slipstream. Can he get him back before turn 7? You can see Guldenfels pulling out to the right. You've got Gerardo flashing the lights like a madman. Guldenfels not close enough to Jimenez. Is Gerardo close enough to Guldenfels, though? He seems to think so. And he's got it done. Brilliant stuff from Gerardo. Honestly, I wasn't expecting him to make that stick there, but Guldenfels just doesn't get the run out of the corner that he wants, and Gerardo goes through. But that alone, that shows you how quickly it can turn into a different size battle, because look at Pouget and Lanapudak's behind now, and Jimenez is away. That is honestly how quickly a battle can change in motorsport, especially in one-make racing like this as well, where the margins are absolutely tiny. There go your race leaders. Jimenez third. And Gerardo now with this absolute train of Clios behind him. They've even got Alboy at the back of that. And Bossi. Now, Guldenfels looking down the inside. Again, just showing his nose. There's the two leaders, though, the Milan competition team, making this look easy in this race so far. We've got, I think that was either Hernandez. Yeah, it was, sorry, who was that crossing the line? I think it was Hernandez there, getting some encouragement, let's say, from his team. He's past Jeremy Bodaguerai now. And look at this, this is Viguier down the inside of Hernandez. Big lock-up on the way into turn 11. Fantastic awareness from Hernandez, takes it back. Thank you very much, he says. Cocaine has got ahead of Carré on that last lap as well for 11th place. Look at this now. Pouget trying to go around the outside of the two-wheeled Guldenfels. Pouget off the edge of the circuit for a moment there. And Lanapudak's can smell blood in the water. He wants a position back. But that was great stuff. Hang time from Dorian Guldenfels. And when you're going around a corner on two wheels in a car like this, it just feels like it takes forever to come back down. And as mentioned, we've got Bossi and Alboy on the back of this fight. GPA Racing's Alexander Alboy, TB2S's Thibaut Bossi. Still 0.4 of a second between our two leaders, though. But after that, it's another 2.9 seconds to Kevin Jimenez. It was just about 3 seconds. We've still got personal best times going in from Jimenez, Gerardo, Thibaut Bossi, Cocaine, Carré. A lot of them doing that. You can hear tyres screaming for mercy. Sequendez, more encouragement from his team. Sequendez 19th position at the moment. Giardas has actually got past Hernandez on that lap as well for 17th position. But this is where the action is at, this fantastic train. You never know who's going to overtake who at this point. One mistake is all it takes from these guys to just open up an opportunity for the driver behind. And if somebody attacks and makes a bit of a hash of a dive, then that is it. Milan has a bit of a lock up there into turn 7, but he keeps it tidy with Guillaume behind him, the two of them working well together up front. Oh, as Pouget decides to try some Extreme E, which started on the weekend. And again, as I said yesterday, a lot of these cars can be converted from the rallycross version of the Clio, which is how it was originally sold, but now it's a purpose-built car for this series this year. I know that, I believe it was Spinkovic and his team, actually apologies, no, it was Paul Cocaine, has converted their car from the rallycross car into the Clio Cup car. But Pouget there showing that it's definitely still possible to drive it on sand. He's lost a tiny bit of time there to Guldenfels, and that gap is open. But speaking of gaps opening, this one's closing now. 0.3 of a second between the two leaders. They've now got 3.3 seconds on Jimenez, so they've definitely still got the pace to get away. We've got a fantastic pit board being held out from the Chevrolet Sport guys. There you go. Go. Simple instructions, at least. I don't think you need a translation for that, do you? Oh, big sideways moment there for Gerardo. All over the curbs. Guldenfels goes deep into turn 4. Pouget straight onto the back of him again. And as I said before, this is how quickly it closes up. Jimenez has been reeled in by this as well, you know. So we've got this fantastic 7-car train from 3rd all the way down to 9th. Well, the two leaders for Milan competition disappear up the road. I'm wondering, though, will Marc Guillot go for a move? Are we going to see a fight between the two of them? Here's Pouget down the inside of Guldenfels, nothing doing there. Two wheels for Pouget as well. Guldenfels gets a really good run off the corner, actually. Closes up to Gerardo. You need a lot of consistency and to be very, very smooth in these cars. Like I said about the front wheels doing everything, the rear is along for the ride. But not letting that rear end step out is so key. You need the car to be just as pin straight as possible. Well, it's pin sharp, isn't it? An arrow straight. So there you go. There's two phrases mixed into one. Onlookers then, masks adorned. Marc Guillot still looking. He's still within 0.4. It's 0.37 of a second now to Nicolas Milan. So he's not disappearing anywhere anytime soon. He's got the pace to match him, although that then was the fastest lap of the race by Nicolas Milan. 1:42.431. Two wheels again for Guldenfels. Definitely pushing. Jimenez will see all this going on behind him and just think, thank goodness I'm not stuck in all of that. Pouget is right with Guldenfels now. Starting to put a lot more pressure on. Surely we're going to see the GPA racing driver make something of this time round then. Tucks into the slipstream down the back straight towards turn 7. Get ready to see him move out to the left. There's Milan. Guillot over the bumps. There is Pouget looking down the inside of Guldenfels. Don't forget, Guldenfels got his own slipstream off Gerardo, but he's right with him. You can see that little indicator of the wheel being off the ground there, the two yellow spokes on the right rear of Guldenfels' car. Still nothing doing for Pouget. 5.5 minutes left of the race to go, though, before we get one more lap. I don't know where that's gone. Oh, Guldenfels definitely showing the rallycross heritage of the car, and look at the momentum that lost him. Pouget goes through, slots back in front of him. Guldenfels doesn't try to get it back straight away, just in case he's got dirty tyres. He needs to clean them off now. But Pouget took that very, very easily. Thank you very much, he says. Merci beaucoup. And up into 5th position. So fantastic stuff from Pouget again. He started 8th on the grid. He's made some strong progress forward. But it's not broken up this train, though, has it? We still have a fantastic group of cars. And then it is quite spread out behind that. Spinkovic is 10th. Then you have Michael Carré. Oh, this is further back. This is the number 21 machine. Stefan Polderman just going a little bit too late on the brakes. Look at the car hopping around there through turn 7. Manages to collect his thoughts and get back on. It's a scary place to go on the brakes, though, at the end of that straight. Like I've said, it's a very long one. Incredibly fast part of the circuit. I was watching the GT4 cars go down there earlier today, and it was unbelievable the speed they get to by the end. Oh, another lock up there from Milan. I was going to actually just say there that Guillot was the one that was locking up a lot yesterday, but Milan taking those honours this time. And look at that there, Pouget all over the back of Gerardo as they go through turn 7. There's going to be a little bit of yellow vinyl on the back of that number 5 Renault, I can tell you that much. Milan competition against GPA Racing here. And then, of course, you've got Jimenez just in front, the other GPA Racing driver. Look at that, Pouget. So close to the back of him, but not making contact. Great stuff. Now, Gerardo feels the need to go defensive. This is where Pouget is going to win the mental battle here. Because from his point of view, he thinks, right, he knows I'm there now. He knows that I mean business. There's Giadis with Hernandez behind. Just behind them is Javier Sequendez. There's Horn, Viguier. Horn just making his way through turn 13 now. And back over the start-finish line once again. Under 3 minutes to go now in this race. There's the number 88 machine of Horn. The one with the pink roll cage, as it will now be remembered. another GPA racing car. Like I say, the same livery as David Pouget's car, but great to see how much the colours make a difference. Now, speaking of Pouget, he's right on the back of Gerardo. You've got Guillaume looking down the inside of Milan again, but too far back to do anything. Jimenez has broken away from this fight now. You've got to think that Gerardo and Pouget having this scrap is actually slowing the whole train down, but the others haven't caught up too much. Pouget's later on the brakes, tries to carry it around the outside. Gerardo gets a bit of the dust, maybe a bit of contact there. I think they got away with it. Pouget's going to carry the speed around the outside. He's going to look back down the inside into turn 9. Guldenfels wants to go with him here, and he might well do. Pouget goes through. Guldenfels tries his hand as well into turn 10, and he makes that stick too. Gerardo losing 2 places in just a couple of corners with Pouget's move around the outside. Now look at that. Bossy into the back of Lana Poudanx. He's getting Bossy, pushing him out the way. Great racing though from the Clio Cup Europe, as expected. You could just see Alboy's wing mirror still hanging on for dear life. I'm sure they'll try and stick that back on by the end of the race. But there you just see it there. Pouget now at the front of this, from 8th position on the grid up to 4th. He's got his wing mirror folded in, so there definitely was contact. So he's not going to be able to see much other than sky out of the right-hand window. But he's going to push forward now to try and break away. Guldenfels tries to go with him. And now Lana Poudanx can smell an opportunity behind Gerardo. Not like that, he can't though. Goes very deep. Bossy and Alboy just waiting in the wings. They've been very patient so far in this battle, have Bossy and Alboy. There is Guldenfels in the very pretty TB2S car. A little bit of dust kicked up in the background there by Lionel Viguier. And there's an incident under investigation between cars 15 and 5, as that is the number 78 machine of Laurent Giadis just coming back on. Let's have a look at what happened here. A little bit wide through turn 3, catches the dust, and the thing is, it's a very long right-hand section there, and he dips the left wheel onto the grass and around it goes. Look at that though, you floor it in a front-wheel drive car, and there's just no grip. And it whips the front end around very aggressively. But yeah, the incident there between Pouget and Gerardo is under investigation. I'm intrigued as to whether there'll be anything done about that. Because to me, it just looked like Gerardo running slightly wide, but that's for the stewards to decide, not me. But Pouget will just be pleased that he's got the position for now. Guldenfel's going with him. So you could be forgiven if you thought that Gerardo was feeling a bit of pressure here. In 6th place. Cross line once again then. Final lap of the race here at Nogaro. Final lap of the weekend in Clio Cup Europe. It's gone by so quickly. We thoroughly hope you've enjoyed it. We will have some highlights and of course the podium presentation after this. But Nicolas Milan and Marc Guillot, well, what can you say about these pair? They have been untouchable. I was questioning whether they'd work together early on in the race, but they've done just that, and they have opened such a gap now. There's a second between them, but they're 4.1 seconds ahead of Jimenez. But Kevin himself has held on well. He's the highest placed driver in the Challenger Cup at the moment. Horn is the highest placed in the Gentleman Drivers' Cup. And look at this now down the inside. Bossy having to go defensive on Alboy. Is he going to run out wide on the exit? He's not. Alboy, though, looking very racy on this final lap here, wants to get through. It's the TB2S car against the GPA machine. But here are the 2 Milan competition cars. Number 2, Marc Guillot in 2nd place. 6-time champion Nicolas Milan, reigning champion Nicolas Milan. Out in front through turn 13 for the final time. Chucks it right. Chucks it left. The checkered flag is in the air, and it is being waved for Nicolas Milan, winner of round 2 of the 2021 Clio Cup Europe. Brilliant drive. Guillot 2nd. Jimenez gets his 2nd podium of the season and 2nd podium of the weekend. Pouget with a great drive up to 4th from 8th on the grid, followed by Guldenfels, Gerardo, Lana Poudanx, Bossy and Alboy. And Jerzy Spinkovic just holds on to 10th place ahead of Paul Cocaine. What a great drive from that. That just fantastic train in the top 10. I absolutely loved that. rest of the field finish. Horn finishes highest in the gentleman drivers category. Hernandez finishes ahead of Sequendes, 17th and 18th. Now we just wait for the rest of the field to come through. There's Arnaud Gauthier crossing the line just ahead of Fabien Julia, with Stefan Polderman after that lock-up finishing 23rd. But there's your race winner, Nicolas Milan. And he needed a weekend where he got a win to start the season off. And he has done just that. Flashing the lights at the marshals, giving their appreciation. You can see just how hot it has got here at Nogaro. But six-time champion eyeing up a 7th title this year, and race wins like that are exactly what he needs. He'll be very, very pleased now. Lots of time to prepare for future rounds of the championship, of course. There's Jimenez, 2 podiums this weekend. He'll be really pleased with that. 2 third places, plenty of silverware to take home. And I believe 2 wins in the Challengers Cup as well, for drivers that were under the age of 26 going into 2021, or drivers that are 26 years old and have competed in 10 rounds or less. There you go then, Milan Competition's very own Nicolas Milan. Very calm, collected drive there, much like we saw from David Pouget yesterday, but that there was a very different performance from Pouget in contrast to yesterday. He could just drive away from the front on Sunday, but today was a real strong charge through the pack. Alboy's wing mirror still holding on, just about. You might have to carry it in the baggage on the plane home, I imagine. There's Horn, winning the gentleman's drivers class today. More flags being waved as well by the marshals. And into the pit lane comes your race winner, Nicolas Milan. Guillaume lines up on his left. Jimenez takes up the 3rd place spot for the 2nd time in 2 days. And we now await the celebration from your 6-time champion, Milan. Lovely little wave for the camera as well. Very chilled out by the look of it, Nicolas Milan. He's done his job, he knows exactly what he needed to do. I'm sure he will congratulate his teammate Marc Guillaume for a great 2nd place. And of course, with the delay, the next grid is going to be started up very soon. They're probably asking there about the lights. He said they came on, but one of them went off. I'm not sure, he says. I think. As I said yesterday, I need to learn French. Guillaume very happy with that, though. Little shake of the fist there. There's high fives all around. But Jimenez will be the man that's really smiling after that. 3rd place, he didn't have to fend off a charge too much. He was probably a little bit nervous about Pouget coming through as well. Well, we just need to get the rest of the field parked by the look of it. We have the 2 Chefo Sport cars there, Steenmetz going in. But we'll have a quick look back then at some of the highlights from that wonderful race. The last race of the weekend here at Nogaro. So, with a delayed start, of course, we then went from behind the safety car, probably just the quickest and safest bet. Milan led them away with Guillaume and Jimenez in tow, and it would stay that way between them until the very end. Early on, though, it looked like we were going to see Pouget making all the moves, and he certainly got on with it very, very quickly. That was him there going past the 85 of Thibaut Bossy. On his way to an eventual 4th place. Guldenfeld sent it down the inside of Girardeau. A brilliant, brilliant fight between those two. That's initially what started off that huge train, while Guillaume continued to chase down teammate Nicolas Milan. Guldenfeld had a wonderful bit of defending with Pouget. 2 wheels through there. Really good fight from Guldenfeld's all race. There's the wonderful instructions. Go, go, go. But that was the moment where Guldenfeld just crumbled slightly. just running a bit wide on the exit of turn 10, gave it to Pouget, and it meant that David did not have to work too hard to get the move done. He then went around the outside of Girardo. The incident that was under review, there was a tiny bit of contact, but nothing untoward there, just Girardo running slightly wide. Good awareness though from Guldenfels to go down the inside and take that position with him. But that's the thing in pack racing, you really need to be switched on for it all. But the eventual race winner though, Nicolas Milan from Marc Guillot, and Jimenez very, very happy to take his second podium of the weekend. But what a great weekend it has been though in the Clio Cup Europe. Fantastic pair of races in some wonderful weather at a great circuit. Nicolas Milan then takes the second win of the season. Marc Guillot finishes second. Kevin Jimenez in third. As I've said, 2 podiums for him. He'll be very pleased. David Pouget finishes fourth with Guldenfels fifth ahead of Girardo. Lana Poudenx, Bossi, Alboy and Spinkovic rounding out the top 10. We then have Paul Cocaine, Michael Curry with Alvaro Bajo, who we didn't see too much of in that race. Guillaume Maillot just behind with Horn in 15th place ahead of Lionel Viguier and Juan Carlos Hernandez. Javier Sequendez was 18th with Jeremy Bordegaray in 19th ahead of Laurent Giardas in 20th. Arnaud Gauthier was 21st with Fabien Julia just behind. Stephen Polderman in 23rd ahead of Antoine Bordegaray, with René Steenmetz and Michael Fay rounding out the field. But what we'll have now then is our podium presentation in just a moment, where we'll give all the drivers their very much earned silverware in the sunshine here in the south of France. And we will start with the overall podium. Third place finisher for the second time this weekend, Kevin Jimenez. Second place went the way of Marc Guillot for Milan competition. He shakes the hand of Kevin Jimenez. Not too much confrontation on track between those guys, but no confrontation at all from the ever supreme Nicolas Milan. Very composed, calm gentleman he is. A fist bump for his teammate Guillaume. And they hold up the trophy for some pictures. And we have the national anthem. Great stuff there. Nicolas Milan wins round 2 of the season in a very, very controlled drive from the front. And of course a trophy for one of the team members as well, or the team manager essentially. They pose for pictures now for leaving the podium. And after this, we will have the Gentleman Drivers' Cup. There you go, there's confirmation. And Javier Sequendez, third place. Hands in the air, he's very, very pleased. And Lionel Viguier finishes in second. And there you go, Mr. Horn, as he's known, fist bump in the air. He's very, very pleased. Look at that. Great celebration. That is all we have, though, this weekend from Nogaro. I've been Chaz Draycott. This has been the Clio Cup Europe. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you at Monza.